Hey everyone, it's your girl Calista Love here, spilling all the tea on the latest in pop culture and celebrity news. I hope you're having a fabulous day, but today we are going to watch a savage takedown by Tim Pool on Twitch streamer Straighterade. Let's dive in. Straighterade, or Erin, nothing personal, but I'm not very familiar with her. Anyway, she appeared on Timcast IRL, where she and Tim Pool debate various aspects of the Renee Nicole Good shooting in Minnesota. At one point, after various attempts to find common ground and understand Erin's subjective point of view, Tim Pool finally accuses Erin of sophistry. Tim claims that his guest doesn't actually believe the arguments she is presenting, and that Erin is only saying what she needs to say in order to abide by the current but ever-changing leftist orthodoxy, and to avoid getting herself canceled. Let's check out this first clip.
What do you think about him calling her a bitch after? And also,
well, we don't know that he did.
Okay.
The other cop.
Take it as fact for now that he called her a bitch after.
Well, why? I can't take that as fact.
Just for the sake of hypothetical.
Argument? Sure.
For the sake of the argument, right? Assume he called her a bitch, and also didn't he leave the scene after?
He did.
Okay. Does that change your analysis whatsoever as far as
people have said things that could be incriminating that are dismissed because it's considered like heat of the moment or high state of emotional. There are actually people who have gotten away with. I don't want to say gotten away with murder.
This guy has PTSD and trauma.
Indeed.
So I've seen
which actually excuses him.
I've seen body cam footage of cops that have used lethal force on somebody who they believed was threatening their life. And afterwards, they're freaking out. They seem like they're hyperventilating. They're like, oh my God,
right,
what have I done?
I don't think he called her a bitch.
They're freaking the fuck out. I know, but for the sake of the argument, if he said that in combination with leaving the scene and seeming as calm as he was to be able to continue.
There's too many assumptions there. We don't know. We have no facts. We know that he went to the hospital.
It's for the sake of the argument. I'm saying that if those things are true.
I say no for the fourth time. No.
If those things are true.
How many times did I say no? No, I said no already. You don't gotta ask me the fifth time.
That speaks to his state of mind that he was not actually in true fear for his life.
No.
Why not?
You can't read his mind. You don't know what he's thinking.
I'm not saying I can read his mind, but I can draw inferences off his behavior.
You can't use that in court, otherwise tons of rape victims would...
You can't read Renee's mind, and you can't read the wife's mind.
I completely agree, which is why I did not. I said her intent never mattered. All that matters is she creates the perception of a threat of bodily harm.
How can intent not matter when we're trying to ascertain whether or not somebody is acting in a way that an objective, reasonable person would perceive as menacing or threatening? We have to try to understand what their intent is.
You agree that she was acting in a way that was menacing or threatening?
No, that's not what I said. Do you want me to repeat it?
Accelerating a vehicle towards you.
I said, how can intent not matter if that's what it's going to come down to in a significant way
when
it's argued legally?
Erin wants Tim to base his perspective on false assumptions and situations that she is creating in her mind, and she expects the rest of the room to go along with them. Erin wants us to assume that the ICE agent who was hit by Renee Nicole Good's vehicle and who killed Renee Nicole Good, Jonathan Ross, was the same person at the end of the video who called Renee a fucking bitch. At the same time, Erin alludes to the fact that Agent Ross was involved in a situation 6 months earlier where an illegal immigrant dragged him with a vehicle in an attempt to escape. Because of that situation, Erin argues that Agent Ross should not have been in the field. Depending on the circumstances, she is probably right that Agent Ross may have had some mental trauma from being dragged by a vehicle. But Jonathan Ross is not the problem here. The planned invasion of the United States and the larger Western world is the problem. I've said it before, no one is comfortable with being detained or pulled over by a law enforcement officer. It sucks. But speeding away during an interaction with an officer is not a normal action, nor is it sympathetic by any means. Maybe Jonathan Ross shouldn't have been in the field that day, but the one person confirmed to have been somewhere she was not supposed to be was Renee Nicole Good. Tim Pool makes this point repeatedly to Erin, but as you will see, speaking to this girl is like speaking to a brick wall. And she votes.
So, do you believe this person had a reasonable fear of great bodily harm?
No.
Even though he had just been dragged and was traumatized, you said he was traumatized. So his trauma doesn't factor in his fears?
No, it does factor in his fears.
So why would he be traumatized but simultaneously not fearing getting injured? How does that make sense?
No.
Traumatized implies he has an irrational reaction due to a past event.
Okay. I thought that you asked me. Can you, like, what was the question that you had initially asked me?
Do you think he is traumatized from being dragged 330 feet and being hospitalized?
That I agreed to. Correct. Yes.
Yes. Okay. If someone is traumatized, do you believe they will act the same way as someone who was not traumatized?
No.
This question is way above her pay grade.
So then this individual who was previously injured by being hit front on by a car and dragged, do you think that person may, through their trauma, which you agree he has, see a similar situation?
That also doesn't preclude, maybe, but it also doesn't preclude the possibility of them just being impulsive or angry. We're presupposing that trauma is the thing that's guiding his response. Could it be something that's guiding his response? Yes. I even think that could be likely, given the past events that he went through.
I think you're just saying things to be on a tribe.
What do you mean?
I think you're literally just using sophistry and saying whatever you have to justify why you don't like ice.
Well, it wouldn't
matter at all whether he did or did not do anything right, wrong, was traumatized or otherwise. You are going to make some kind of sophistry argument as to why it's wrong.
What is sophistry that I've engaged in here?
I mean, we literally have a woman who committed 2 felonies.
No. What is sophistry that I've engaged in?
Okay.
Not a set of circumstances that we looked at. What did I say that constitutes sophistry?
You making up fake arguments to justify claiming a guy who's traumatized.
By fake arguments, you mean hypothetical?
He's simultaneously traumatized, but not fearing for his life.
By fake arguments, you mean hypothetical, correct?
No.
What do you mean by fake arguments then?
So the sophistry is the implication that you're using arguments to mislead.
Yeah,
and like agreeing he's traumatized, which presents an irrational reaction relative to the general public,
which could
but that in this circumstance
reaction.
he's not acting within the trauma. How could he? So the point is,
but I never said we know for sure that that's what we're doing. I'm saying that it's likely that his how is that sophistry? That's just not what sophistry means.
Because literally, if you look at the video, a car accelerates, you hear a noise that sounds like he's being hit, and she's staring at him, and you're like, nah. Like, okay, look, any reasonable person watching this,
sophistry.
This is the political divide in this country.
Fast and loose with different terms to argue for a particular end disingenuously.
And that's what you're doing.
This Twitch streamer is completely clueless. If I had to guess, it's not her shining personality or her views on life that garner Erin an audience. The scary part is that she votes, and the thousands of people who listen to Straighterade actually believe, in their weak minds, that she makes viable points. Once again, she is not basing her thoughts on concrete reality. Instead of looking at what is in front of her and analyzing it objectively, Erin's train of thought is more along the lines of this. Yes, I see what reality is, but imagine if the circumstances were different. Because if the circumstances I'm imagining were reality, while this other thing is also going on, then that would mean my random opinions are fact. I must be the good guy, and anyone who disagrees with me is the bad guy. I hear a lot of talk about lowering the voting age, but I believe Erin is the perfect case for raising it. And why shouldn't we all commit to some type of public service for a year or two when we become adults? It feels like we have a bunch of grown infants with disillusioned state of mind steering the ship. Or better yet, if children learned more from their parents and less from the state, we probably would have never reached this level of societal ignorance in the first place. Obviously, you know my take on these clips, but I want to know what you think. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I love reading them. And that especially goes towards those that might disagree. In fact, all opinions within YouTube guidelines are welcome here. That is the only way we can get to the truth, is by having uncomfortable conversations. I would like to take a moment to thank everyone for the love and support that you have shown my channel. We are only a few videos in, and the response so far has been heartwarming. My promise to you is that I will deliver consistent and quality content every single day. This is Calista Love, signing off. Stay kind, stay fabulous, and I'll catch you next time. Mwah. Bye-bye.